Yeah, I'll react to that, sure. Easy content.
Thing I've ever seen. Like the national team, the worst thing I've ever seen. Like the national team is a shame for us, you know.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 insane World Cup moments.
Zinedine Zidane?
Has the referee got a grip of this game? Scolari thinks no.
For this list, we're looking at some of the most bizarre, iconic, and controversial moments that have ever happened at FIFA's illustrious tournament. What World Cup moment sticks out in your mind the most?
Guys, original link to the video, top of the description, below that link to the Discord. My name's Connor. I like to watch stuff.
Let us know below. Number 20, the big upset. In the first World Cup since World War II put the competition on hiatus, Uruguay, who won the inaugural tournament in 1930, faced off against the favorites, Brazil. At the time, the winner was determined by a final league table rather than a one-off match. All Brazil had to do was avoid defeat, and the host country would be world champions. And all that was going to plan when Friasa opened the scoring. But then, a goal by Uruguay's Juan Alberto Schiaffino leveled things up. Uh-oh. To make it worse for the Brazilians, Alcides Guija fired it in to give the underdogs the win.
That was the lowest point in Brazilian football history.
Number 19, the disgrace
What about the Germany thing?
of Gijón. In the 1982 World Cup in Spain, if West Germany beat Austria by at most 2 goals in the final game of Group 2, both teams would qualify, while Algeria would be knocked out. Well, West Germany won 1-0, but it was the performance of both teams that concerned everyone. As soon as the first goal was scored, West Germany just passed the ball among themselves, not bothering to attack, while Austria barely put in any effort. Everyone watching was livid, and the teams were accused of match fixing. FIFA investigated, but found no rules had been broken. However, they changed the rules so that the final games of group matches would be played at the same time to avoid a similar situation. Number
Who? Whoa.
As soon as the first goal was scored, it was
you fast forward if you want to. Wow.
Algeria would be knocked out. In the final game of Group 2, both teams would qualify, while Algeria would be knocked out. Well, West Germany won 1-0, but it was the performance of both teams.
Okay, so they both knew they would go through. And so they. Why am I so slow? It's early, okay? Give me a break.
So that the final games of group matches would be played at the same time to avoid a similar situation.
Okay, I understand.
Number 18, French fallout. Tensions between France's manager Raymond Domenech and the players during the 2010 World Cup erupted most spectacularly. At halftime of their group game against Mexico, France was losing. Nicolas Anelka got into a heated argument with Domenech in the changing rooms, causing the striker to be sent home from the tournament when he refused to apologize. Well, his teammates were not happy, so they went on strike. After an intervention from then-President Nicolas Sarkozy, the players returned to work. However, France failed to progress from the group as they finished last.
There's several parties who are responsible for this disaster, and I measure my words, disaster, which is what I continue to call it.
Number 17, the wink.
Then look at this.
Look at that. Is he just winked there?
For the 2006
What's
World
wrong
Cup
with that?
quarterfinal, England was set to face Portugal. This meant Manchester United's Cristiano Ronaldo would be taking on some of his teammates like Wayne Rooney. As the English forward got into a tussle with Ricardo Carvalho, the defender went down, and Rooney accidentally stamped on Carvalho. Immediately, Ronaldo and the Portuguese players bombarded the referee to take action, and it worked. Furious, Rooney pushed one of the players, who just so happened to be Ronaldo, and he was immediately sent off. As Ronaldo walked off, he winked to the bench. Mission accomplished. Ronaldo claims he never intended for Rooney to be sent off, only to get the foul. Number 16, the Battle of Nuremberg. Portuguese players bombarded the referee to take action, and it worked. Furious,
I don't know. I can't get inside his head, but I feel like that was really planned? It seemed kind
Portuguese
of
players
just...
bombarded the referee to take action, and it worked. Furious,
Maybe he did. I don't know, but it also could just be like a reaction to it, just a wink.
he was immediately sent off. As Ronaldo walked off, he winked
I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, do you think that was on purpose? Obviously, the wink, I know but that doesn't mean him going up to the ref was in order to get Wayne Rooney to push him. That seems like a kind of a stretch of a plan, you know?
to the bench. Mission accomplished.
Maybe
Ronaldo
I'm wrong.
claims he never intended for Rooney to be sent off, only to get the foul. Number 16.
So why did
the Battle of
why did Rooney hit him? I mean, Ronaldo was just going up to the ref. Or why did Rooney push him? I mean, it's the World Cup. It's not going to be like, oh, hey, it's the World Cup, but I'm your teammate. I won't try and get my way with the ref. That doesn't...
Nuremberg. Usually names involving the word battle are typically used for a military skirmish, but in this case, it's the round of 16 match between Portugal and the Netherlands at the 2006 World Cup. It was one of the most violent games of football in World Cup history. A massive 16 yellows were issued, the first coming in the second minute. On top of this, 4 red cards were issued. It really overshadowed Portugal's 1-0 win.
It was a record-breaking mix of nasty fouls,
I wonder what the stoppage time was.
playground play acting, and a card-happy Russian ref.
Number 15, Ilunga has had enough. For the 1974 tournament, Zaire, now known as the Democratic Republic
I was
of the
gonna
Congo,
ask that.
was making its debut on the world stage, and they were in a tough group. After losing 2-0 to Scotland and 9-0 to Yugoslavia, they faced Brazil in the final game, in which they lost 3-0. But during it,
How was Yugoslavia as a football team? Were they good?
faced Brazil in the final game, in which they lost 3-0. But during it, as a free kick was set to be taken by the South Americans, defender Mwepu Ilunga sprinted from the wall and booted the ball up the pitch, clearly breaking the rules. As such, he was booked. While many found his apparent lack of knowledge amusing, there was more going on. Ilunga stated that he was hoping to be sent off as a protest against his nation for withholding the players' earnings. Number 14, Spit Frenzy. During a match against West Germany, the Netherlands' Frank Rijkaard wiped out striker Rudi Voller, earning himself a yellow card. He responded by spitting at the back of Voller's head. Lovely.
It was just one of the most...
Spitting at the back of Voller, earning himself a yellow card. He responded by spitting at the back of Voller's head. Lovely.
It was just one of the most disgusting things I think that's ever been caught on camera.
When the German complained, he was booked. Then, less than a minute later, Voller committed a handball to avoid colliding with the Dutch goalkeeper. After a tussle involving Rijkaard and Voller, both players were shown a red card. Then, the Dutchman spat on the back of Voller's head once more as they left the pitch. Rijkaard's side went on to lose 2-1. Number 13, Wrath of the Sheikh. For the 1982 World Cup, Kuwait made its debut at the international tournament. But rather than be remembered for this historical event, it made its debut at the Sheikh. For the
Oh, I thought I was going to say 1992. Sorry.
1982 World Cup, Kuwait made its debut at the international tournament. But rather than be remembered for this historical event, something else comes to mind. As the team took on France in a Group 4 match, Sheikh Fahad El Ahmed Al Jabbar Al Sabah, who was also president of the Kuwait Football Association, was watching. Late into the game, a whistle is heard in the stadium. While Kuwait's players stopped, France's Alain Giresse made it 4-1 to the Europeans. Well, Fahad was not having that. He went onto the pitch and demanded the referee disallow that goal, or his team would leave. For some reason, the ref ruled the goal out. Unfortunately for Fahad and Kuwait, Maxime Bossis scored, and the game finished 4-1.
Wait, he
Number
got
12.
it taken down. He got what he wanted though.
The Battle of Santiago. On paper, this should have been a
So it was because someone blew a whistle like in the crowd, and Kuwait thought
Pretty standard match in Group 2 during the 1962 tournament. But thanks to the drama going on behind the scenes with Italian journalists stirring the pot by criticizing Chile's capital, Santiago, tempers boiled over on the pitch. Even BBC broadcaster David Coleman introduced the game's highlights by describing it as the most, quote, disgusting and disgraceful exhibition of football. Within 12 seconds after kickoff, there was already a foul. From there, Italy had 2 players sent off, with one being escorted off the pitch by the police.
Well, there's one of the sorriest and most stupid, incredible spectacles I've ever seen anywhere in the world.
The ref could have issued more red cards as players punched each other, with one even getting a broken nose. The 2-0 win for Chile was vastly overshadowed by the violence.
The game is over. Ken Aston on his way to the dressing room. I don't think there's ever been a football match played like this in Chile or indeed anywhere else in the world.
Number 11, Rivaldo's rehearsal. After his incredible performance at the 1998 tournament, expectations were high for Brazil's Rivaldo in 2002. But in their first game in Group C against Turkey, he did his best to tarnish all that good faith. When Turkey's Hakan Ünsal kicked the ball towards Rivaldo, who was taking the corner, the ball seemingly struck him in the face and he went down. Seeing this, the referee gave Ünsal a second yellow, sending him off. But as the replay showed, Rivaldo was hit on the leg, not the face. His acting turned him into the tournament's villain, as he was fined thousands of francs by FIFA for his poor behavior.
What Rivaldo has essentially done is taken a decision he's going to try and get someone sent off in a World Cup. And
oh, hold on. Now, people do this all the time in soccer, in football, soccer. It's over here. It's soccer. People are gonna get mad. I get confused. All right, it's soccer over here. Football, okay? So because the person who kicked it at him had a yellow card, that means it was extra egregious on this guy's part? But people do that all the time. Fake injuries.
Showed, Rivaldo was hit on the leg, not the face. His acting turned him into the tournament's villain, as he was fined thousands of francs by FIFA for his poor behavior.
What Rivaldo has essentially done is taken a decision he's going to try and get someone sent off in a World Cup. And just have no shame, no guilt, presumably. I've never spoken to Rivaldo.
What?
About it. It might be wrapped with guilt for all I know.
Number 10.
He tried to make something look worse than it was. That happens all the time. Let me know in the comments, okay, if you disagree.
The goal of the
that seems crazy. That you would...
In a game that's often remembered for one Diego Maradona moment, more on that later, this bit of magic is often overlooked. In the 1986 World Cup quarterfinal between Argentina and England, Maradona received the ball in his own half. He then went on a dribbling rampage, beating 4 England players, with Terry Butcher losing to him twice. Finding his way into the box, he dummied a shot, causing goalkeeper Peter Shilton to fall to the floor. This left the goal open for Maradona to place the ball into the empty net.
He's hurting England again here. It's a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals.
The Napoli legend ran 60 yards in around 10 seconds, taking only 11 touches along the way. In 2002, this stunner was voted goal of the century by FIFA.
The pitch was terrible. So how he did the things that he did on the way to scoring that goal were beyond belief, to be honest. It was a remarkable moment.
Number 9, karate kick. Taking on favorites Spain in the final, during the first half, the Netherlands' Nigel de Jong jumped up and struck Xabi Alonso in the chest with his studs. The Dutch midfielder should have seen a red card coming from referee Howard Webb's pocket. Instead, it was surprisingly yellow. According to Webb, he didn't have a clear view of the incident and didn't want to make a guess. But when he saw the replay later, he stated he should have sent off de Jong. Number 8, final fiasco. If you ask England fans their most important footballing moment, most would likely point to this one, which took place at the 1966 final. With the score 2-2 in extra time against West Germany, Geoff Hurst's shot thundered off the bar before crossing the line.
Wait, how is the picture so good? And this is 1966.
time against West Germany. Geoff Hurst's shot thundered off the bar before crossing the line. Or did Germany?
Yeah, did it?
Geoff
Ooh. Wait. Oh, he's kind of in the way there.
Hurst's shot thundered off the bar.
From that angle, it looked like it went in. It like bounced down and kind of behind the line, but I couldn't get a good look.
Before crossing the line. Or did it? The replays seem to suggest the whole ball didn't cross the line. As such, VAR would probably not have given the goal that motivated the team to win 4-2. Looking back, it's
boom, boom. It looks like it's half on the line, half in the goal. That's what it looks like. So what that means, I'm not sure. But the fact that it does bounce out of the net is interesting. Because you'd only think it would bounce out of the net if it hit. But, I mean, it could have been spinning. Boom. Boom. It made contact right there. It looks like it's half in the goal, half on the line.
It seems like the whole ball didn't cross the line. Just before the game was over, Hurst completed his hat trick, securing the trophy for England by winning 4-2.
People are on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now. It's 4.
Number 7, dodgy calls. With the 2002 tournament being the first time that 2 nations had hosted it, that should have been the focal point for South Korea. Instead, bizarre occurrences on the pitch took people's attention, with accusations of match fixing. With South Korea against Italy in the round of 16, referee Byron Moreno appeared to have a vendetta against the Europeans. He was inconsistent when awarding penalties, disallowed rightful goals, and sent off Francesco Totti for diving, which didn't seem like the case. Then, against Spain in the next round, similar shenanigans happened with referee Gamal Al-Gandour. He was later accused of accepting a car from the Korean company Hyundai, which he denied. Number 6, stand-in keeper. At the 2010 tournament, Ghana had gotten to the quarterfinal against Uruguay, and boy was it a battle. In the last minute of extra time, a goal line scramble forced Luis Suarez to block one attempt. But
Sir,
extra time, a goal line scramble.
Sir, literally volleyballed it. He volleyballed it with his hand. Oh my
Luis
God.
Suarez to block one attempt. But when Dominic Adia headed the ball toward goal, Suarez got in the way again, but this time with his hands. A big no-no. He was sent off, and a penalty was given. However, Asamoah Gyan missed. The match then went to penalties, which Uruguay won. Even 10 years after the incident, players from Ghana still won't forgive Suarez. Number 5, hammer.
Honestly, like, I feel like, look, the rules are the rules, okay? But I mean, I feel like that should just be a goal. I know that you can't just do it, but I feel like they should make it like if a non-goalkeeper, I mean, that's insane because that means that you have an incentive in a game where you're up. Of course, you're going to get a red card and be out for, you're going to be a 10-man team now, and you're not going to be able to play next game. But in like a knockout thing or whatever, when
Luis Suarez to block
that's crazy.
One attempt. But when Diane, as in 10 years. Number 5, hammering the hosts.
Brazil are being humiliated.
I was even kind of embarrassed to watch this.
And taken apart, and their supporters simply cannot believe what they have seen.
In 2014, fans were foaming at the mouth to watch two great teams, Brazil and Germany, battle it out in the semifinal. While the host nation had lost Neymar to a fractured vertebra and Thiago Silva, who was serving a suspension, a hard, tough match was expected. But that's not what we got. Instead, we witnessed one of the most shocking matches in World Cup history. Germany tore the South Americans apart with their superior finishing. Even though they had fewer shots and less time of possession than Brazil, Germany still won by a massive 7-1. The result was the biggest margin of defeat in a World Cup semifinal. Number 4, Chumping Chiellini.
We all know what number 1 is going to be.
In the final game of Group D. The South Americans needed to win to progress. In the second half, Suarez tangled with Giorgio Chiellini, causing win to progress. In the second half, Suarez tangled with Giorgio Chiellini, causing the then Liverpool player to bite the defender.
It looks to me.
Liverpool player to bite the defender.
It looks to me, dare I say it, that he's had a little bite at Chiellini.
Surely not again.
While he was able to get away with it during the match, FIFA later took action. Suarez was banned for 9 international games and anything football related for 4 months. This was the biggest punishment in World Cup history. The sentence was harsher since this was the 3rd time Suarez had gone all drunk.
How do you do that? Like, what's going through your mind that, like, unless you're in like a life or death situation where I can see someone resorting to biting when they have to, but as like a first thing to just be like, Jesus Christ, madman.
Dracula on an opponent.
The player Luis Suarez is banned from taking part in any kind of football-related activity, administrative, sport, or any other, for a period of 4 months in accordance with Article 22 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code.
Number 3, the Hand of God. Since we mentioned an infamous Maradona moment in the 1986 quarterfinal match against England earlier, here we are. With the score 0-0, a botched clearance by Steve Hodge forced the ball to sail toward the England goal. As keeper Peter Shilton ran to get it, he was beaten to it by the smaller Maradona, and the ball rolled into the net.
The English players screamed for handball. Everyone had seen the infringement, except Tunisian referee Barakua.
As Argentina celebrated, England protested. But still, as Argentina celebrated, England protested. But still, the goal was given. Replays showed that Maradona had clearly knocked the ball in with his hand. Maradona would later admit that he did indeed hit it with his hand.
It was my hand. With this, I don't mean any disrespect to English fans. But this is something that happens.
Number 2, goalkeepers assault. With the score 1-1 between West Germany and France in the 1982 World Cup semifinal, Patrick Battiston, who was only just subbed on, found himself running at the German goal. Well, keeper Harald Schumacher was not having that. While Battiston's shot went wide, Schumacher forcefully clattered into the defender. Battiston was out cold. The medics quickly gave Battiston oxygen at the pitch side, and he was taken out on a stretcher. But even with all of this, France didn't even get a foul, let alone Schumacher being sent off. Adding insult to injury, West Germany went on to win the game in penalties. Before we continue, Battiston was not having that, running at the German goal. Well, keeper Harald Schumacher was not having that. While Battiston's shot went wide, Schumacher forcefully clattered into the defender. Battiston was out cold. The medics quickly gave Battiston oxygen at the even many went to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Zidane.
Number 1, Zidane's headbutt.
Honestly, I think that the biting by Suarez was way worse than the headbutt.
Zinedine Zidane is one of the best players to ever walk onto a pitch, but his career was tarnished in the final against Italy in 2006. With the scores 1-1 deep into extra time, Zidane got into a verbal spat with Marco Materazzi. Suddenly, he headbutted the Italian in the chest.
You can't excuse that. Zidane's career ends in disgrace.
I remember seeing that.
With no other option, the ref showed the Real Madrid and Juventus legend a red card. To make it worse, France went on to lose on penalties. In 2012, this incident was immortalized when a sculpture by Adel Abdesamed was unveiled in Paris. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified.
Good video, great, easy content. Like always, WatchMojo, post-emptive like. I should have liked it. Top 20 insane World Cup moments. I feel like the biting by Suarez is more kind of despicable than the headbutt, but I think the headbutt was definitely more famous, which I guess would make it more insane. So, good video. Hope you guys are all doing well. And the corner kick one where the guy kicked it to him, and it like hit him in his leg, and he faked his whatever, and then he got a card. How in a sport where, and hey, geez, I'm not just pointing out football with this, right? Basketball too, just as bad with flopping, because it's part of the game. You know, don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't hate the game. I love basketball and soccer. They're great sports. But clearly, when you're at the top, and this is, you know, the tip top of the competition, right? Then the smallest things are going to matter, which means exaggerating being hit or faking being hit can sometimes come in handy, right? And so I'm not going to blame the players, but the fact that it was in a World Cup and the guy that kicked it to him had a yellow card already, how does that make the most insane World Cup? Yeah, it was lame. You shouldn't have done it, but that happens all the time, doesn't it? Anyways, I'm going to get yelled at in the comments. Can't wait. See you guys next time. Love y'all. Hope you're doing well.